appropriate people should be surcharged, and people should be made to answer questions on that happens.
And due to the severity of this issue, this matter, what we've decided to do is to shelve our main conversation on the national rental, scheme, and talk some more about what is happening, because I'm sure the parents who have worked in various schools would ask themselves questions too. What is the state of my child in school? Over the period, we've been talking about lack of food for these students. There's no food available for them, and to worsen the situation, they have bad structures, dilapidated structures, where they sleep in, they attend lectures in, they eat at, and this is what we are having. Now, Prof, you are into the settlement environment, you're into the built environment. Should it be so difficult for us, under these circumstances, to get befitting structures for students to study in, befitting structures for students to eat in?
Well, thank you very much. And I also add my voice by saying that it's a very sad situation.
Isn't it beyond sad? Isn't it annoying?
What we see is something that maybe is coming, because in this country, we all know the class system that we are trying to build, differentiating schools from top schools and deprived schools. When it comes to infrastructure, we don't know what kind of system is used in placing infrastructure in schools. It should be scientific. You hear about lobbying. Sometimes a person becomes a minister and infrastructure goes to his former school. You know all this.
Yeah.
And so if you have such a situation and it's not scientific, then you're going to have schools that are getting more infrastructure, others are not getting. And this is what is leading to these situations. And then sometimes you have situations where infrastructure is going on, and due to political issues, party changes, and the structure is stalled. And I know schools have been a board chairman for senior high school if I've seen it. So I mean, it's something that we need to wake up. I recall recently they said they were doing audit of public structures all over the country. What did they find out? And how was the infrastructure allocated? And I think that is how GET Fund was established. So it's all a matter of, we don't just want to do things in a scientific way, and I mean systematic approach to make sure that, okay, this person has gotten his due, let's move to the next stage. So when they are allocating resources,
you're talking about equity.
You don't get it. You see, sometimes let me just you hear there are buses coming in. You don't know what criteria is used in sharing these things. It's not transparent to the public. So these are things that we need to now demand.
How disturbing is it for you, Prof? Even hearing from the Director of Education for the area, Akuetteh from Pong, Haruna, who says he doesn't even have an idea as to when they would even have a substantive good, what do you call it, dining structure. He's clueless.
What it means is that perhaps for him, his attention is not even there. You see, his attention is not even there. And for somebody who is a leader of the district, this is something that they should have a database to know the infrastructure of all schools and how they can assist. But I'm sure if you push it further, he will also try to pass the buck to a higher level, because maybe, but that is not what he said anyway. If he has said that they have done their best and the resources have not come in, but to say that he doesn't know is something that I think it's not tenable to accept.
But when it comes to some of these structures, who's supposed to do the integrity works on them to see whether they're feasible or not? I mean, yes, GS has a lot of people working in there. I'm sure they have different departments in there. Do they have people whose job and responsibility it is to go around the schools? They say, well, we're checking whether the school, has this or has that. Rock, please.
There's this monitoring and evaluation team.
Yeah.
But then, as to how efficient, how successful they are in their job duties, line of action, that no one knows. And Prof has said it, that the supervision, the transparency, letting people know what you are doing, how you are doing it, and what brings about the conclusions that you make. It's not there.
How about the headmistress? Where, if what we're hearing from the students is anything to go by, if indeed that is the truth, where we are told that the headmistress, and my producer has tried severally to reach the headmistress this morning, she hasn't picked up her call. I am hearing some very, 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 very disturbing news. Very disturbing news, from Adria. I'm keeping my fingers crossed, hoping that what I'm hearing or what I've heard is not really the truth. But the Director of Education for the area says it has not come to his attention. Students are saying that, well, they have repeatedly raised these concerns and they're told that there's no money. Will you be surprised if the headmistress of the school, has not raised this before, let's say, the District Director of Education there? But before, T could tell me your initial thoughts about this whole thing, and then the headmistress of the school, whether if indeed the structure was not that solid, was weak, what she's done about it.
Yes. First of all, good morning to our listeners. David, my problem has to do with who becomes a headmaster. I think this brings for the Ghana Education Service, the hierarchy and who becomes a headmaster of a school. Because sometimes the people who become headmasters, sometimes because of the number of years they spent in becoming teachers, and so they don't have a clue about how to manage an institution. Because sometimes when you listen to some of the excuses they give, like you try calling them, they don't pick the calls, and sometimes even the schools, do they have the structures? Are they resourced enough? Do they have people, estate managers and all the other positions to make sure that these institutions work to protect each and every one who even enters the school, not only the inhabitants of the school? So sometimes in fact, all of us went through this system, and when we were in school, I think some of these things were there. There were structures that we were using that we knew were problematic, but who are you to even complain? As Doc said, we are trained to take instructions, not to even challenge the system. And so when we have issues on campus and we want to report to our headmasters or our teachers, how do we even say it? Do we have even the opportunity to challenge them? And when we try to challenge them, what happens to us? The sanctions that are there even makes us so timid that when things are wrong, we are not able to complain. That's how come students over the years have been eating substandard food, staying in some standard structures for all these years. And my opinion about the educational director that you spoke to is, I think authorities should ask about the number of times he has written to higher authorities about this structure, because you can't.
He says he saw it, and there's nothing wrong with the structure.
And we spoke to somebody who said that he saw the structure, but he has not entered it. And I was like, wow.
So let's take a listen to some of the students narrate to us what actually happened yesterday around 5 p.m.
I bought 5 years you could dining. It's a lad only enough. Into this way, table which we and sana yache. Tia and any dining hall penny akazakasa. So may ladder near Chamom and also one pin. And as idea, ya bede, Yabaka dinty any omoyana and soon a gym and from an fan. Teacher Nibako, a friend actually, or no year no room, in soon yes, I know room no Cobema, a white ding. To no room nana, in soon is Jim. And I'm from Manchester, and the fire done as suppose a can is a dear in Yanni Diabo. The Dana suppose in a Sabija Guyasu. To why yes, the woman, dear. Although a big boy and Tia Timidane, one can now more no woman, dear. How many I saw my big and still now more now unconscious, and I've been so prepared more, or moon prepared, and so the natural say, almost the harmonious or municipal broom.
All right, so that's a student giving an account as to what transpired yesterday. They were getting ready for dining. That was around 5, p.m. They got to the dining hall, that makeshift dining structure, only for them to realize that they didn't have enough ladles. At community, they need to crack when ladles cry was not enough. So they were making, agitations. For mommy, give it to me. Let me also fetch my meal and all that. And then he says that there's a teacher by name Action. So Action walked into the dining structure, trying to bring some sanity and quiet there. That was when the structure itself came down. Now, when we spoke to the Director of Education for the area, he says he's not a medical doctor, but he spoke to some of the students who were trapped under this building, this structure that came down. And to him, they were fine. Although he wanted to say that he asked that they be detained till today, this morning, he said they were fine. Listen to this girl and tell me whether she sounded fine or she sounds fine.
online. They say they na person pen for nye.
Omo boy school ni bibia ya dada. Bibia ya dada. Dan wo kro wo obeka se nkuko buo na ye didi. De bia ya ka omo siska ni wo ya ka omo siska ni wo nka ye wu ya nka na be ye beta ma omo an na sin.
Medasi.
By saying that if they had died or she had died, if that would be what would be good for those in authority, then maybe that's what they are getting. And she talks about the fact that every structure in the school, the director of education for the area mentioned that, well, they'll be commissioning a dormitory today or soon, let me put it that way. But if you're commissioning that and the students are eating in such, makeshift dilapidated structure, and in this same situation, when we talk about schools of shame, the education minister will come and tell us that we should not be talking about schools of shame, we should be talking about school of fame. When students don't have desks, common desks to sit on to study, and then he's promising that this year every student will be given a tablet. A tablet. What is with this issue of victimization? Your party is in power.
Yeah.
Mr. Tiku. What is with this issue of victimization? You have asked me to be a headmaster or headmistress of a school. I need to voice out if things are not going well. So if we don't have enough food to feed students, and I come out and I say it, why should I be victimized? Why should I be hated for it? Yeah. If the school structures are not in the right shape, and I talk about it, why should I be victimized? Why is that going on?
David, I think the victimization part that you're talking about, I'm not sure the minister or the political leadership have any control over GES. So maybe it's within their structure that maybe their own victimization is.
Has it come to your attention that some headmasters are afraid to speak to power? Are you aware?
No, their fear.
No, are you aware?
Their fear cannot be.
Are you aware?
I've heard it before.
No, are you aware?
No, I've heard it before.
You've heard it?
I've heard it before, but it cannot be blamed on the political class. What I'm trying to say is that it's within their structures. We don't have that control over them. The GES
who are appointed PROs and who are manning the ministries. And when you come and say that there's no food to be given to students, what do you think is going to happen?
Let me build up. I think we first talked about the education minister talking about school of fame. I think all of us, once in a while, when we have given the opportunity to talk, once in a while we can goof and it happens. So if he mentioned the school of fame and it didn't go well with the people of this country, I think he has come back after the school of fame.
He's made furniture available.
Yes, he's made furniture available, and I think after that statement that he made, he has gotten the opportunity to talk to, I think, a colleague of yours, and I think he spoke extensively.
He mentioned that he's somebody who fixes issues.
Yes, and he has started fixing the issues, and we have seen results about taking all these things. And we should take it that it is not like some of these problems that we're talking about were solved, and we came and then we destroyed it. It has been there with us for all these years, and we are trying to fix them.
Government is a continuum.
Yes, government is a continuum.
So
we inherited some of these problems that we are talking about, and we are trying to fix them. And this education minister, I think all of us, a testimony to some of the works that he has done and continues to do. And I'm sure all of us know the record of this education minister.
Are you aware of the challenges when it comes to the school feeding issue, where students are not even having food to eat?
The challenges, I think before we came, the school feeding issue was not even there at all, and we came, brought it, and make sure that some of these things are. I think we expanded the school feeding, and so most of the schools are now getting some.
Do you have an idea how much you owe in terms of the buffer stock? Do you know how much you government owes?
If I owe somebody an amount of money and I've not paid, I will still pay. So most of them are still working. I think some of our cooks are complaining about their debt, and I think we are fixing that one too. I think we have a lot of problems in the education system. We are trying to fix them gradually.
So if we say we have a lot of problems, is it a time for us to give in our tablets?
That one, I'm sure some of these are segmented things. So if you have to give them tablets to make sure that in this day and age, all students get the opportunity to get abreast with whatever is happening everywhere and get information, I think it's not wrong. What we need to do is to make sure that every sector of the economy or the education system is fixed. So if the problem pops out, you, the journalist, most of the time you bring out some of the problems. Our concern is that when we are bringing the problems, you bring out the positives that we have also done, so that people will know that it's not like nothing is being done in the educational sphere. So I think sometimes it becomes so emotional that it becomes a worry for some of us.
Dr. Sessa, let me throw the same question at you. I mean, the issue of victimization. Why should a headmaster or headmistress of a school be scared to speak?
So you see, I think, in my opinion, I think GES has been very, very lucky. They've been lucky because when you go into these second cycle institutions, majority of these infrastructure work, renovations, and what have you in these schools are run by their old students. So you have schools like Achimota, Presec, Accra Academy, and what have you, having their old boys renovating these facilities and infrastructures on their various campuses. And so GES, looking at the monies that they've been given to be able to run the administration of second cycle institutions, prioritize other things that are not necessary. And when it comes back to prioritization, it comes back to what we are talking about, thinking that a tablet is going to do more good to a secondary school student than even a tertiary institution student. I don't understand under any circumstance why a secondary school or second cycle institution headmaster or headmistress should be afraid to speak up. They've all been gagged. If you speak up, we've seen instances where when you speak up, you'll be transferred. When you speak up, you'll be taken to a place that you don't even want to go to.
I think it's a punishment for speaking up or telling the truth.
And that is the medium, that is the models they've been using on these secondary school headmasters and headmistress. So one feels that, let me not talk. Let me rather try and utilize my old students association. If that one does not, if that one doesn't work out, then the students are let off. They are led to their fate. And until GES realizes that they are sitting on a time bomb, we'll be playing with the lives and the future of our students.
Well, you just heard the voice of Dr. Samuel Sessa. He is a member of the communication team for the NDC. Also with me this morning is Daniel Tieku, who is a member of the communication team of the NPP, and Professor Divine Kwaku is Professor Construction and Human Settlement Development Center for Settlement Studies, KNUST. Prof, you're a parent. What do you think is going through the minds of a parent right now?
Well, if you're a parent, I mean, at this time, you will not be having your peace of mind, and you'll be so shocked, damaged to the extent that this should happen. But that's why at the same time I'm saying that as a people, it's a fact that when it comes to many things in the country, we have looked at it from the point of discrimination and looking at interest groups. He was just talking about old students and other people pushing resources to other schools. Are we running education for the country, or we are running it for interest groups? Today we are sitting here. Maybe I won't mention any school, but you go to certain schools, they are well resourced. All students, highly elite, they are pushing resources to the school. But these incidents are happening now. We are discussing as a public issue. So what it means is that this issue of all students, fine, they are all good, they tend to help schools. But the idea that people should turn themselves into interest groups to pursue an agenda in schools.
Isn't that where we have also come in to create category A, category B, category C schools? We have done these things, and then when we say we're using the computer placement system to even help students have equity to go to schools,
exactly,
there's corruption in there where everybody wants my child to go to the best of schools.
Exactly.
So why are we not developing these less and down schools for them to come at par?
That's why I'm saying that we need a scientific approach to everything that we are doing. I'm coming to the issue of lobbying. You see, you have to send infrastructure to schools. You say lobbying, so it means that if I get a position and I go and use my affiliation to lobby, you send a thing to my school. What kind of system is that? And that is what we have created, and we have all accepted it until it reaches you. Then you all of a sudden you realize that, okay, we are talking about the school placement. We are all in it, using old students association and other things to get it. But the day that it approaches you, that is where you come out to what? to complain. And that is why we must all strive to build an open system. And it is for this reason that the SDG 4 is there for all of us. But unfortunately, the rhetoric is always about perpetuating that interest groups, and we don't seem to find a way to be able to open up so that we are able to leverage on these issues as we are discussing.
Well, Leo Stanley is still with me in the studios of Love 99.5. He's got some messages for us. Leo, please.
Yes, and the message is coming to you from CBS Roofing Industries. CBS Roofing Industries Limited, they are manufacturers of long-span roofing, corrugated, galvanized, and alu-zinc sheets. Alu-zinc trusses, which comes in various colors with elegance and mobility to brand your building with excellence. Our roofing products are cost-saving, durable, eco-friendly, easy to install, avoid any forms of leakages, and they can be made in all kinds of standard sizes. Our roofing sheets has 20 years warranty, and our steel trusses has over 100 years warranty. CBS paper packaging boxes also is top quality packaging boxes for all manufacturers in alcoholic and pharmaceutical and mineral water in industries. These packaging boxes can protect your products. We have paper boxes to package your yams, plantain, and so on. Our paper boxes are durable and strong. We also manufacture paper packages for pizza and all paper packages for hotels and restaurants. We have boxes for heavyweight packages as well. We have special discount and package for manufacturers, restaurants, hotels, and so on. And we manufacture based on your specifications. Locate CBS Supreme Industries Limited behind the Tech Police Station near CCC Asokorama and Kumasi. We also have branches at Sofo Line, BBNE, and Techiman. For information, call 0502-350-510 or 0246-614-855. CBS Supreme Industries, your ultimate roofing solution.
Conversation this morning. Well, the earlier, advertised, topic has had to be shelved because there is some serious matter from Ejuraman Anglican Senior High School, where yesterday students who were ready to have their supper were met with some very bad, situation where their makeshift dining structure came down. It collapsed, and some 40 students were rushed to the hospital. We were told that 35 of them were not in too much of a serious condition. 5 of them were receiving treatment at intensive care. And on Facebook, Joel, please keep showing those pictures and videos for us on Facebook. It's LUV 99.5 FM. LUV 99.5 FM. And you see that even when the students have gotten injured, traumatized as they are being treated on the bare floor. So imagine that this lady who narrated the situation that she is in was in Nenayo 2, and then she gets to the hospital and she has to be put on the bare floor. How comfortable is it? What kind of a treatment is she going to be getting? I mean, Tegu, your party is in power.
Yeah.
Listen to this girl and watching the picture. You've seen it.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it? Why are we doing this to our own people?
Just like you said, as a parent, if I should be called that my ward is in this school, even without knowing whether she's hurt or not, I won't have my peace of mind, as Prof said. But what we are trying to say is these are some of the reasons why we should, as the political class, we should always have interventions that seeks to protect the citizenry so that everything will be okay in times of storms like this. I think this is why it was so important when our president, Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, decided to do the Agenda 111 to make sure that all districts in this country have a district hospital. I think that's a different ball game discussion that we'll be having later. But it was unfortunate that it was bastardized and chased out, and I think the...
Do you have the resources for it?
Obviously, but for COVID and the Russian...
This same COVID where you have spent some 81.8...
I think that's a different discussion that will be...
Are you raising issues of agenda?
What I'm trying to say is that...
COVID for all our roads. We had a lot of money.
What I'm trying to say is that these are some of the reasons why Agenda 111 was so important, because if all districts had hospitals, I think this situation that we are seeing wouldn't have happened. Because it was... When I saw the pictures in the morning, it was disheartening seeing that this case, what we forget is that SHS, most of them are between the ages of 14 and 15 and 16. And so when they are going through such challenges and you take them to a place that they are supposed to get cure or some solution, and they go and you lay them on the floor. When I saw the pictures, I think Nehemiah came to mind because I saw those pictures. It was so gory. So when I saw this, I was like, wow, I wouldn't have this.
A lot of Ghanaians had high hopes in the MPP. Would you agree with anybody who says MPP has been disappointed?
I'm sure we had that kind of goodwill, but as you said, we are not in ordinary times. We came to meet certain challenges that no other government in history has met.
What challenges?
Oh, we are talking about the COVID pandemic. It happens once in a century or so, and we came to meet it after.
With all the reasons
an excellent first 4 years. You understand? So what we are going through, I think people are quite disappointed in a way. David, I've seen you on our roads. You can see some of the things that we have done with some of the borings that we have done. So we should not go there. We are talking about Edra. Let's go there. I think some of the things that we're talking about, I think some of the headmasters should be up and doing. I think this problem that we are seeing at Edra is not only Edra alone. If you are supposed to take an audit of most of our SHS now, we see some of these problems. And the dangerous thing is we have some uncompleted buildings that students are using now in other schools. And this should be a wake-up call to all the headmasters to write letters to the appropriate quarters as many times as possible, so that once some of these things happen, you will be able to have something to stand on to say that you have complained a number of times. Because the district director who was talking about the fact that he has seen this structure but has never gone in, I was like, then what makes you the district director? You should know all your schools. You should know what they need at any particular point in time. You should ask questions when you go to the schools and see some of these things. Listen to the lady that we just played the audio. It's like when you see the structure, you don't need to know that this structure is defective to prevent children from using that structure. So some of these things, we shouldn't blame it solely on the political club, but people are put in place to change the destiny of the schools and other things. So if they are not working, we should blame them squarely. If they have other things to say, that's why you, the media, are trying to speak to them, so that they mention some of the things that the impediments put in their way, so that we fix it. Either than that, we continue to make a case for them.
Dr. Sessa, have you seen the pictures where the kids were taken to the hospital?
David, yes, I saw it when I came into the studio.
Okay. What do you make of it?
So I hear Teku talking about not blaming the political class, not putting blame.
No, solely. I'm not saying
so it should be a shared blame, you are saying?
Yeah.
So you see, whether it is shared or it is directed, at the end of the day, decisions on policy making, decision on implementation of policies stem from leadership. And these leadership are the people who direct where resources are supposed to be directed to. Like Prof was saying, if you don't have a scientific approach to anything that you are doing, you will end up having your own influence, using your own influence, using your sole prerogative thought to implement whatever you want to do. Now we come back to the fact that this is a government that prides itself in populist ideas, populist ideologies. So if something does not make itself or does not make its way to the public domain, it doesn't concern them. What they think about is the next elections, the next voting, what makes them or what is going to make them look good and better in the eyes of Ghanaians. Like we're coming to talk about the rent issue today. It became a matter of concern to them. This has been in their campaign manifesto since 2020. It became a matter to them.
I think page 175.
Yes.
They said they were going to vote 100 million.
Yes.
Now it's turned out to be 30 million.
When a woman recorded herself saying that she was going to pay her rent, and then an agent demanded this from her, landlord demanded this from her, that is when they realized that they had this in their campaign policy. What we are trying to say today is that they have proven time beyond number. Like the issue that happened at Santasi, students complaining about having a zebra cross, having a footbridge, crossing the road and being knocked down by vehicles. They seem not to care. When you call a DC, when you call an MC, these are all representatives of the president in the district. And you are taking away the president from such an issue and saying that the political class should not be blamed. We should only look towards the headmistress, we should only look towards teachers in the schools, the DC who went there and did not enter the structure to go and check. No.
It wasn't the DC, it was the education director for
the education director. Meanwhile, all these various institutions have monitoring and evaluation teams. They go there, they are supposed to report. They are supposed to have annual reports, semester report, academic year reports on how issues, infrastructure, and welfare of students are being catered for.
It's sad, and that's why I said earlier that, listen, if a parent should decide to take the school on, get some lawyer or lawyers, sue the school. I think then headmasters and headmistresses will sit up. If somebody who is a child, who is in a school, who has ulcer, and is being staffed, and you, the headmaster or headmistress, will not speak to it, and the child has complications or issues, then you sue the school for issues, because even the occasions when you want to give food to your own child, your own children, the school says no.
Yeah.
The school said no. Now,
They are controlling public perception.
Prof, tell me this. You want to say something because I have a question for you.
Because they are the politicians. They have spoken, but I also want to speak on the Ghana project.
But before you talk about the Ghana project, please tie this one in. I want to know how much it would even cost us to have a dining hall, befitting dining hall for a school of a population of, let's say, 1,200 or 1,300. How much will it cost?
Well, that will be difficult for me at this stage to do that. But just to say that in construction, what we say is that construction should be used to create wealth.
Construction should be used to create wealth,
and not to consume wealth.
Okay.
But it's a fact that whether it is NPP or NDC, what they have all done is to use construction to consume wealth in terms of abandoning projects all over.
Oh, say what?
You know, so this issue this issue you are discussing is because it's a public issue that we are. It's not surprising. If you go around the country, there are so many schools that are in that situation. You see, so linking it to the Ghana project, you have to understand why we are a nation, Ghana, and what we are seeking to achieve. You know, and so if we have our politicians coming in and abandoning projects for the mere sake of it, and are not using the scientific approach for us to develop, that is what is going to happen. I think it's something that we need to put our mind to in terms of our state of mind and see how you can help.
03220-83596, 03220-83597, 03220-83598. You can call us and share your thoughts on what you've heard. I don't know how you feel about it, but listen, our phone lines are activated now. 03220-83596, 03220-83597, 03220-83598. Listen, it's a Get More with SG Ghana season. Conveniently purchase a comprehensive insurance cover for your vehicle from SG Ghana, and you get 500 cedis worth of coupon for free. Dr. Sessa, if you should get this, what will you do with it? You'll be happy, won't you? You go for an insurance policy, and then, of course, you get 500 cedis worth of fuel. That's a great news. So go to SG. Enjoy extra mileage with SG Ghana's Sound Drive insurance products and get extra protection as well. It's simple. Visit any Societe Generale Ghana branch or call them on 0302-214-314 to find out more. The promotion runs, it started on the 3rd of January, it's ended on the 31st of March 2023. So hurry. Remember that terms and conditions apply. Societe Generale Ghana, the future is you. Now we hear that the NADMO team have gotten to Ejura. We're still working our phone lines to see if we can get them to speak to. But Edward joins us on the line. Augustine, hold the line for me. Edward, good morning.
Good morning, David.
Boss, welcome. Let's hear you, sir.
Yeah. I think it's so sad that we are still having some of these bad occurrences. But then, my issue has to do with the fact that all of us are part of the problem. When we vote a government into power, instead of holding them accountable for, let's say, 3.5 years, then we look at who wants to come into power the next time. Just after 1 year, 2 years, we are interested in who becomes the next president or the next leader. You see, there is a get fund levy that we all pay as part of the VAT when we buy something. How is that money being accounted for? How is it being distributed? And that one was brought in so that we can get something to support education, infrastructure, and other things. But we spend our time on NDC, MPP, foolishness, and that. When the people are supposed to concentrate and work, then we push them. that what we voted them for, they are doing it. We give a lot of attention to them when it's not even time for election. When it's not even time for election. So the get fund levy, now how much has been accumulated even this year or last year? How were the money disbursed to the schools for the project that we all are looking for? Good morning.
Well, good morning, and those are very good thoughts that you raised, because the GET Fund, which is the Ghana Education Trust Fund, was established by an Act of Parliament in 2000, Act 581, to promote the development of education in the country. So if that's what it's supposed to do, how well have we utilized it? Join our conversation on 03220-83596, 83597, 83598. Augustine, good morning. Augustine on that line. Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. What's your name, please?
Abdullah Ismaila.
Abdullah Ismaila. Okay, welcome, Abdullah. Yes, sir.
Yes. These politicians, they don't think of voting for them before they came into power. When they are seeking for power, they will tell you, "Oh, I will do this, I will do that, I will do this." But the moment they get the power, then they forget their promises and everything. You see, you talk of maybe the headmistress and headmasters refusing to talk. Where they will put them to, or even where they will transfer them to, they won't like it. Their position or their job. Yes, they can't talk. The education director you call, you see what he said. He doesn't want a contract. Are you just an educational director? You sit in your office and call yourself an educational director. You made mention of, I saw the structure, but I didn't enter. What is your main duty as an educational director? You should have entered there and even check. You see, by he's here telling you that he doesn't. So what is his duty as educational director?
Abdullah, I hear you. Right. Thank you. 03220-83596, 03220-83597, 03220-83598. You can also send us your voice messages to 055-11-11-995. That's our WhatsApp number, 055-11-11-995. Do you have, is it Fatima or Fatima on the line? Hi, good morning.
Yes, good morning. This is Fatima.
Fatima, eh?
Yes.
Fatima,
and I'm an administrator with GES.
Please go ahead, Fatima.
Hello?
Yeah, Fatima, please go ahead. We're listening to you.
Yes. I know for a fact that every year we do fill a questionnaire on education, which we report on our structures, the items that the school needs. So I'm wondering if what they do with this questionnaire we always fill every year, and it is normally time bound. We are supposed to try to meet the deadline. Because if all these information that are gathered are being used, are being put in good use, I believe they should be able to know that we have such a structure and the needed attention has to be given to this school.
Okay, so you say you work with the GES as an administrator. Which department is supposed to be doing this job that you mentioned?
You come again?
Which department of the GES is supposed to be doing these checks?
I believe it is a questionnaire that is normally given to us to fill. I believe there should be I don't know whether it's directed to the Ministry of Education that they are supposed to collect the data, because the data is normally sent to us for us to fill it and submit.
Don't worry, I'll call the regional director, I'll call the PR, I'll call the people that I also know to give me some information, because if there's a department, if there's an officer who's supposed to be doing these checks, a state officer, and they're not doing it, well, whether they are state officers or not, we'll find out, because it means that they're also sleeping on their jobs. Unless, of course, they do these checks, present their reports, and nothing is done about it. Then we know that they've done their bit. Ken, good morning, please welcome.
Good morning once again. David, you see, if there is any institution that is supposed to do that check, I believe that institution is also under the director. David, when you come to my place where I teach, you see, so we are not scared of anything. I will tell you the truth, because if you want a betterment of this country or this nation, you have to tell the truth so that everything will be all right. David, I remember, I think that was last 2 years or so, and up to date, we don't have storage facility. We don't have a UNRA for this case. When the director came to the school, he told us there's this man among us. He's the elders among us. He told the man, when we were all telling her that we don't have a toilet facility, he was like, we should improvise. We should find a ways and means to improvise toilet.
Did you ask him what he meant by improvise? How do you improvise when it comes to place of convenience? How do you improvise?
Come again?
Did you ask him how he expected you to improvise? By doing what exactly?
You know, he was like, we should look around us. There are so many trees around. We should gather this case, walk them to the bush or the forest, and cut these trees so that we can build a forest. That's what she said. That's what she said. And then, David, I mean Asante Achem, and I can tell you the school. That's Praso, Konongo Praso. So, David, we know what is happening, and it's too bad. So, what the director is saying, I'm aware. I know he can say that. Like, you are telling us that you've not even entered in. You've gone to the compound, but you've not gotten close to the dining hall to supervise or to check how it is, whether it's in good shape or not.
Ken, thank you very much for joining us. Listen, the number to join our conversation on is 03220-83596, 03220-83597, 03220-83598. A school at Ijura, students decided to go for their dining. They were even contemplating how to get a hold of a ladle to fetch their meal. It's about to rain, wind blows, the structure collapses. 40 students are taken to the hospital, 5 taken to the intensive care unit to be treated. It's sad, huh? And you want to give tablets to students. Mohammed, good morning.
Good morning.
Sir.
How are you doing?
I'm well, sir. Thanks for asking.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, sir. I can hear you, Mohammed. Go ahead.
Okay. You see, with this current situation, it is sad and very unfortunate. My issue is why these directors are trying to make everything seem okay. Meanwhile, they are not. I think it's high time we hold them responsible. They start taking responsibility for whatever thing that has happened to our brothers and sisters, daughters and nephews and nieces. I don't see why you should be saying they are okay while listening to the voice of the girl alone. It's very disheartening, seriously. I just couldn't bear the pain, seriously. May the Almighty help us change the attitude of these leaders. Seriously, only we can change them. Let me leave so that another person can come on the line.
I hear you, Mohammed. Thank you very much. Nanama, good morning. Hello, Nanama. Oh, Nanama, we lost you on the line. Sorry about that. Kofi, good morning. Welcome.
Yeah, good morning, Dave. You keep emphasize on tablet. It seems you believe Baumia so much so that the tablet will be delivered. You believe it. But
it is not about whether it will be delivered or not. It is where his focus is. That is my concern. If we are having dilapidated structures and we're not focusing attention on that one, and rather we talk about tablets, that's what my issue is. That's whether he presented or provided or not. That's not my problem.
It's just a political gimmick. You know, he is vying for presidential candidate. Look, is he not the same Baumia who promised to give teachers, every teacher, one laptop? And did he deliver it? So if this same man is promising a tablet today, you treat it with contempt. Look, what has happened in the school? When we listen to the girl, she said, anytime they complain, all that they tell them is that so it means that the educational officer you spoke to.
Well, thank you very much, Kofi. I think we lost Kofi on the line. We'll pick 2 more calls and then we'll call it a day. Do we have Salifu on the line? Salifu, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Salifu Saraku, how are you doing?
I'm blessed by His grace. Yourself, sir.
I'm well too, sir. Let's hear you.
Boss, I don't know. I'm I'm very myself. I don't know where to start. I'm very angry, honestly speaking. Dave, I'll call you back though. I called you and I thought the program has ended. There are issues. So I will not talk much. But our leaders, please, they are taking us for granted too much, honestly speaking. And always, they are selfish into they always think about their.
I think we lost Salifutu on the line. Very unfortunate. Salifu, apologies to you. There's a reporter who broke the news, and his name is Sandy. Sandy is with Today FM in Ejura. He's also joining us right now. Sandy, good morning to you.
Good morning, sir.
All right, so Sandy, you broke the news yesterday, but before you tell us what you picked up when you went to the school, tell us about the structure where the students used to dine at before it collapsed or caved in yesterday.
The volume is down. I can't get you.
Can you hear me now?
Hello?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right, so I am asking that before you tell us what really happened yesterday, tell us about this structure, this makeshift structure that the students used as dining. Tell us about it. How was it like before?
Yesterday, as we all know, the weather condition here is now turning. We are now moving from the Harmattan to the rainy season, and as we all know, yesterday around 5, there was a great wind that blew in Akuetteh, and it caused a very big disaster in Akuetteh Senior High School at their dining hall. The students were being preparing, or they were in there taking their dining, and unfortunately it collapsed on them. And if you see how the dining hall has been structured, indeed it needs to collapse, because to walk across to some level be, and no beam beyond the battle, so and beam beyond also. It's just a wooden structure. Let me say it that way. A wooden structure now. Yabona, the roofing.
So Sandy, let me come in here and ask this question. From a layman's perspective, are you telling me and my listeners that if you should see this structure, it is clear that anybody will go at any time?
Yes.
I'm asking this question because the education director for the area said he has seen this structure. He has never entered it, but he saw it as a good one.
Pillars and 2 blocks to some level. Yambo, I can't say Yambo Bimuntoso. Naraka say, Yatitre, the Benin Warriors at a tray, Ibiana to so, Yambo Bim Bianto so, and Yambon Tenseno, and in roofing Nessiso. Sana Etie.
So, Sandy, when you got to the school, I don't know what time you got to the school, but did you see students under the rubble? What can you tell us about that?
Yeah.
With the fact that
about
so all of us
students are there on the torso. Now,
when we put the government into power, instead of holding them accountable for, let's say, 3.5
This is severe. Then we look at
want to come so my issue has to do with the fact that
and one guy
all of us are part of the problem.
Yeah,
have you seen them this morning? What can you tell us about their condition?
This morning, I didn't see them this morning.
Then
definitely around 9, I'll be going to the hospital to check and see how they are doing now.
I said yesterday when the whole thing happened, getting to the evening, did parents of these students come around? What if they did? What were they saying?
Part of the problem.
You see, if such incidents happen now,
into power, instead of holding them accountable
the parents will feel.
Let's say 3.5 years.
The head teachers were good to calm them down, that everything will be going to be okay, because also biaba ne talk ne senior obekasa no harshly anyway no, but omutimi control omuma bibiate din, although enyo the obia penise such is in the see, but omoye oma from the bia say omobeka situation let down but
for an opinion yɛntie sɛ obi afiri mu anaasɛ biribia asa akɔ so bio.
Sandy, thank you very much for your time. We are grateful. Sandy is the person who broke the news yesterday. He is with Today FM in Nigeria. Thank you very much, sir, for your time with us here on Love in the Morning. Very disturbing, huh? Very, very disturbing. Now, so the district director of education in that area told us that he's seen the structure. From a case review, he says, I'm on the room. He hasn't entered it all. But if you listen to the narration, the description that Sandy gives, Prof, you are into the built environment, you're into housing and all that. What you heard this man say, does it befit human beings to eat in that place? The girl described it as a hen coop, a kokobu. Having listened to the description given by Sandy, what do you have to say?
Well, I've not seen pictures of the.
But that's what I'm saying. Based on the description he gave,
the description to be a bit difficult in the sense that you can have an open structure pavilion which is well constructed and it can still serve as a dining. Okay, but from the description he is giving, what I can see is that perhaps this is something that has not been properly structured together. That's the way I see it. And maybe that is why it came down the way it is. But to your specific question, you can even have an open space, well structured, and it can serve as a as a eating place.
Well, as we wrap up our conversation, Dr. Sessa, what will be your final words?
Well, I don't want to go much into the comments of the DC, the district education officer,
the director of education.
It could be he is not an expert in that field. I don't know what went directly into his appointment, and I don't know how many times he has visited that particular school for him to have made that comment. But what I want us to understand as Ghanaians is the fact that a lot of these recurring issues that we have in our institutions, we have in our secondary cycle institutions, we have in the tertiary institutions, a lot of these problems that students, parents, teachers are complaining of as a result of leadership, the priorities of what our leaders have. So as you have mentioned concurrently, that we have a vice president who is prioritizing in sharing tablets to secondary school students who don't even have a lot of sockets to charge them in their schools. If this is the situation that we have in this country, then we are walking down a path that is very dangerous, a path that at the end of the day we would look back and want to blame our politicians, but they will no longer be in power. We will look back and want to look for Nanado, His Excellency Nanado Danko Akufo-Addo and Bawumia, and they will no longer be the people at the helm of affairs. It is absolutely right that each and every Ghanaian will stand up and speak for the future of these students in the schools. If we had lost even a single life in that school at Ejura, today we would have seen a lot of politicians tweeting, posting and writing big grammar, telling us that their spirits are with the students of Ejura, mourning them and sharing condolence with their families, donating huge sums of money to their parents and to the school. But if it didn't work that way, that is not what we are supposed to look at. We should look at preventing issues rather than wanting to solve them when it has happened.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Sessa. He's a communications team member for the NDC. Grateful that you joined us, Dr. Sessa. Tiku.
Well, Doctor, I remember very well in 2012, I think around that time I was an insurance officer with the UT, the defunct UT life insurance. And I went to some villages and I saw a laptop with a picture of a presidential candidate at the back of it. And I'm sure you have not forgotten about that. But in discussing the issue of Ejura, I would like the people of Ejura, the parents, the teachers and everybody to not to be emotional, discuss this whole thing dispassionately, and I think the headmasters should provide leadership, talk to the people who are supposed
to talk. It's headmistress of the school.
Headmistress, because around this time not all parents can come to the school and get the information. So when the media come to you and they want information, I think you should not block them, you should talk to them so that some students or some teachers or some parents who want to come to the school will know what is happening and decide not to come. So I think the headmistress should provide leadership, and then the district director too should talk to the media, the DCs and other political class who are there should talk to the media to make sure that calm nerves happen so that all of us will be at peace. Because if they decide not to talk to the media, it's very, very dangerous. Because everybody then will want to troop to the school and find out what's happening.
Well, you heard, Daniel Teku speak a while ago. He's a communications team member for the NPP. Thank you very much for your time. You also heard Dr. Samuel Sessa, also a communications team member for the NDC. Doc, thank you very much for your time. Professor Divine Kokwa Haji is a professor of construction and human settlement development. That is with the Center for Settlement Studies at the K University. Prof, thank you very much as well.
Thank you.
If you're headmaster or headmistress of a school, if you're education director of a school, have at the back of your mind that parents have entrusted their wards into your care. Their well-being, in every aspect of the word, well-being is in your care. Yeah. Where they sleep, what they eat, everything is in your care. Note that if anything should happen to any child, some parents will hold you responsible. So if you keep quiet and not speak, or you don't make use of chas, and something untoward happens, you live with it in terms of the consequences that will come your way. Before we go, take a listen to this.
Dave, I've been congratulating you for your up-and-coming program that is helping the environment. But can we also look at the modern role of the media, apart from the traditional role of informing people? I mean, now media is involved in problem solving. So these crucial problems that are ahead, that we found ourselves in, school building collapsing on students while some are injured, and also one in the northern part of the country which has been caught in fire. Can we set up a fund or a support program immediately so that we will be raising support like cash and material things? And if you will be spearheading the donation fund, or you'll be using your medium to spearhead the donation fund.
I'm sure that last year you listened to us where we got wind of students, ladies, females who were using newspapers, old newspapers as sanitary pads.
Yeah.
In that time of the month, that's what they used, and we used the same medium to get a lot of sanitary pads, and we gave it out. I know of schools that have had their roofs ripped off as a result of wind that blew during rainstorms. I have spoken to Donima Steel Complex Limited, and we've done support for people. So yes, problem solving, we do it all the time. But we have voted people into power based on assurances and promises and pledges that they've made to us, based on our resources that we have as a nation. What are they doing with these resources? How are they making use of it? God save this country. We'll be crossing over to Joy 99.7 in a bit. Where today we're on the agenda. They were talking about the Tema motorway. That is no more a motorway. And we heard a soundbite play some time ago where the Roads Minister, Akuetteh, was saying that people do not know what they are about, what they are saying, and that the Tema motorway will be constructed. And then we'll also be talking about, the individual bondholders. Today's the final day, huh? Let's see how that one pans out. Thanks for your time. We'll be crossing over to Joy 99.7 in a bit. Good morning.